guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So it's Christmas and I thought it was a good time to film my reflections on the last year and my goals for next year. That's kind of my own little Queen speech. I watched my video from last year and oh my god, it's kind of, what a year, what an absolute of a year. It could almost be the same, but just edit the health bits. I just feel like this year has just not, you know, it's kind of a year of just underachievement. You know, I mean, I know pushing for your goals and so on isn't everything, but you know, I just feel like I'll be glad to see the back of it, put it that way, and just hope that next year is better. So yeah, this queen is not wearing a crown for this speech, obviously. Let's cover that, let's get that elephant out of the room before we go any further. My crown this Christmas is my hair, okay? Because those of you who watch my videos regularly or know me will know that I'm currently going through chemotherapy, and I've had 2 cycles and I've still got my hair, okay? Reason being, this time I decided to try the cold cap. If you don't know what one of those is, basically it's a fitted hat kind of thing that is frozen, and you put it on your head while you're receiving your chemo, and it's meant to stop the chemicals reaching the hair follicles, which makes your hair fall out. It is expected that I'll still lose some, but there is a high hope that I won't lose all of it, so maybe just be a little bit patchy. So fingers crossed. Why didn't I use it last time when I had chemo 3 years ago? There was one person, no, actually 2 people that said, you know, what if there is a little cancer cell lurking up there and this cap stops it reaching it? And I was like, no, I'm not taking any chances. You know, let's just go for it. And you know what? The cancer came back anyway. So this time I was like, you know, let's just try it. I spoke with people at the hospital and they were like, well, you know, we wouldn't offer it if it was going to be, you know, if we thought there was a problem, it might risk your treatment not working. So yeah, fingers crossed on that one. Watch this face or watch this head, whatever. So my year, my literal anus horribilis. Yeah, what a year. I know I keep saying that, but you know, cancer again 3 years after the last time has been pretty shit. Sorry for my language. As you know, it wasn't expected to come back, but it has, and so we're going through treatment again. I don't want to dwell on it, but that is, you know, how can you not reflect on that when you're looking back at your year? You know, even if you'd had the best year career-wise or whatever, that is always going to be a bloody, you know, it's going to ruin it, isn't it? So it's in hand, shall we say. So looking back then at what I've been doing last year, YouTube, we may as well start with, being as that's where we are. It's slow. It's slow, isn't it? I mean, I know there are a lot of people doing YouTube now, more than ever probably. And yeah, I'm finding it pretty tough in respects of building viewers and, you know, a following on here. And I said something similar last year. You know, what am I doing wrong? what am I not doing that other people are doing? I've looked at loads of YouTubers' videos, I've read countless things, and other than the fact people maybe are not liking me, I don't know. Yeah, some content's stronger than others. But it's difficult, and I do take it personally. I try not to. I try to be thick-skinned. Sometimes I'm fine, and then other times I'm like, you know, you spend so much time editing and, you know, putting together the thumbnails for YouTube and things, and, you know, downloading videos, and you just think, is it all worth it? Is it really all worth that time? Could I be doing something else that, you know, receives more, you know, I don't want people saying, well, yeah, obviously everyone wants people saying, oh, you're wonderful. But, you know, I'm not after that. I'm just after just a little bit of recognition, I suppose. I'm not expecting to earn millions, you know, just... It'd be nice to make a living from the YouTube and the writing. But yeah, I do take it personally. If you're one of my close friends, you'll know that I've had moments where I've literally been, I can't do it anymore. You know, there's no point. And I do get that quite regularly. There's no point, because people aren't watching. The time it takes, the amount of people that watch it, I may as well go around and see them all individually sometimes, you know. So we'll see this year what happens. I'm not saying I'm going to stop. I haven't stopped because at the end of the day, I do quite enjoy it. You know, I enjoy creating, I enjoy putting the videos together, I enjoy mostly filming them. The moment I get to the point where I'm like, no, that is it, I'm not enjoying it anymore. And, you know, if I haven't got that following that I need, then it will be time to stop. But for now, I'm still trying. Okay, so I'm not going anywhere at the moment. But, you know, if you aren't subscribed, please do so. Please give this video a thumbs up, because I know I always say it would mean the world to me, and I don't just say that easily. It's not just something I'm reeling out, it actually really would mean the world to me. So yeah, you know, I will keep at it. The writing I spoke about last year as well, the freelance stuff, the blogging, I said I would like to earn a living from that. I am making more from the writing than I was this time last year, but by no means, you know, a livable wage. I'm still having to work a proper job a couple of days a week. I'm actually off sick at the moment because of the chemotherapy, but yeah, I do still work a couple of days a week. My dream would be to be fully self-employed with the YouTube stuff and the freelance writing. So, you know, I'm going to keep working on both of those. I also mentioned last year that I wanted to do more presenting work. I hadn't done any last year, I hadn't done any the previous year, but I'd done the food festivals the year before that. So last year I did do a little bit more presenting, live presenting, and that's something that I want to build on this coming year. I know it's going to be hard to kind of plan things and accept work for a little bit in terms of that, because my chemo isn't due to finish until early March. I've then got another operation, then radiation. So we're going to be looking April, May, and you know, the festivals are already starting then, aren't they? So I don't know how that's going to leave me with that, but you know, I'm going to give it my best shot. You've got to fight for the things in life that you love. So I'm not giving up at all. you know, it's life, isn't it? You win some, you lose some. So I shall remain positive on that. If you're looking for a presenter, do get in touch. Speaking of presenting, obviously, the radio side of things. Last year on my reflections video, I mentioned that the Nottingham Live show had come to an end because you know, we weren't doing that on the internet anymore. We did restart it as a podcast, but without the license for, you know, music, the format just didn't really work. I got fed up of listening to my own voice for an hour, so I can only imagine, you know, other people would. There were parts of it that worked, don't get me wrong, but I just didn't feel, for the amount of work again that was going into that, that I was really, you know, getting anywhere with it, and I just wasn't enjoying just sitting there talking for an hour. I'll say it bored me, so I didn't feel like anybody would want to sit there and listen to it for an hour without music. I sometimes toy with the idea of doing like a monthly What's On for Nottingham Live. So I don't know, because I compile everything anyway for my columns in NG Magazine and Nottingham Now. I still do those in terms of writing. So again, you know, the information's there. Do I record it and put it out as a podcast as well? Is something I think about. And then, you know, I flip between thinking, okay, am I trying to do too much? You know, should I concentrate on one thing? You know, drop the YouTube and concentrate on writing, or drop the writing and concentrate on the YouTube. But I'm still kind of waiting for one thing to really take off. I'm still the editor for Nottingham Live, and obviously I enjoy that. The perks of that, obviously I don't get paid. People think I get paid for that, I don't. The perks of that are that we do get review tickets, so I do get to go and see a lot of shows, things like that, which I enjoy anyway, and would have paid for those. So that's how that kind of works its way into my life and makes it worthwhile. But yeah, I sometimes think, am I trying to do too much and I'm not being good at one thing, or I don't know, sometimes don't know where to concentrate on. But again, that's something that I'll give more thought to this year. Modelling, still did the odd bit last year. Again, I know it's not something that I'm going to earn a living from or a career because of my age. Don't get me wrong, there are older models, but I know myself, I haven't got the looks or figure to make that, you know, a career or profitable. So I still do the odd bit, which I quite enjoy. So I'll carry on doing that, and obviously post them on my Instagram things when I do that. Speaking of Instagram, social media is something else we should touch on, because again, I kind of feel like that is also slow. Be it down to algorithm, be it down to age, I don't know what it is, but I'm still finding it quite hard as an individual to build up my following on there. But we're keeping at it. So if you aren't already following me, make sure you are following me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest. I'm on all of those. Again, so it would be lovely to see you there. Health-wise, now exercise and things I talked about last year, and I started this year with the intention of being really, you know, getting back into it, getting fit. I joined a gym, which I hated because I felt physically sick when I did the classes because I am so unfit. And so I tried that. I tried the Joe Wicks 90-day thing. I saw a nutritionist. I joined Weight Watchers. So yeah, I did everything I could to, ironically, improve my health. And ironically, this is the second time I've done that in my life. And each time, I have ended up with cancer. And you're like, what is the point? you know, I may as well be overweight, eat what I want, don't exercise, and be bloody happy and not have cancer. So, I don't know, you try and follow all the advice of eating healthily and exercising, and they do say that they're the two things that prevent cancer. But for me, those are the two things that seem to bring it back. So yeah, I would like to achieve more, just to make me feel that what I'm doing is working. Ultimately, I mean, and ironically, I said this last year as well, you know, even if you haven't achieved anything career-wise or financially, you've survived. And how ironic is that I said that last year and then diagnosed again this year. So yeah, I've just got to bear that in mind. I suppose it could have been a completely different story. I was lucky that the cancer was caught quite early and it's being treated, but you know, it could have been different. And I need to practice more, and I am working on this, gratification, you know, being grateful for the things that I have got. And it's quite easy to look at what you haven't got rather than what you have. So that's something that I'm going to be concentrating more on next year, practicing, you know, gratification. Because if you kind of, I don't want to go on about this, but if you look at, there's a lot of theories in like The Secret and books like that, that what you dwell on you get more of. So if you think about things that you haven't got, they're what you're attracting more of into your life. I don't know, maybe that's all mumbo jumbo or hocus pocus, whatever you want to call it. But, you know, I'm willing to give it a go. I'm just, you know, if anything, it's going to make you a happier person, isn't it? If you're practicing gratification for the things that you have got, concentrating on the good things, you know, rather than moping about the bad things. So yeah, that's something else I am going to be working on. I talked about friends last year as well, and how I don't have many close friends. I did try and work on that more this year. It's difficult at my age to sort of nurture friendships or gain new friends. I did start going to like meetup groups and things to meet new friends, and I think that was going okay. But kind of half the year almost seems to have gone with visiting the hospital and things, because I first found the lump about August. So when you think that's literally like almost halfway through the year, and everything seems to have just kind of almost halted or gone in slow motion, if you like. Even though once I got into the system at the hospital, it was like bang, 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 and it was diagnosed and treatment started. It just, in another way, it's dragged on as well, and I stopped going to things like that. And because I was waiting for appointments and because I was having treatments and things, I stopped planning things as well. So that's something that I need to try and get back into when I can. And the chemo seems to be following a pattern of a week of like just not being well, then a couple of weeks of gradually getting better. So if it follows that pattern, then at least I can start to plan things, even though I do have to be a little bit careful with, you know, immunity, because your immunity is low because of what the chemo is doing to your body. But yeah, and I do find it quite hard to make friends, if you like, because of sort of past experiences and generally not feeling particularly good about myself. I feel kind of almost like I don't want to open up to people. I don't want to give too much of myself away, because when you do that, you're opening yourself up to being hurt, and I just find it hard, if you know what I mean. And some people have said to me, or friends said to me, you know, it can be hard to get to know you, but when you do, it's worth it. And I don't know if I agree, maybe I agree. I do try, but yeah, I think I'm just frightened of being hurt. So I kind of got to get over that a little bit. And again, just going back to the cancer, it does filter out who are real friends, who sticks around, who keeps in touch, and who doesn't. And you do find which people are there for what they can get, you know. With the writing, with the YouTubing, I do get invited to a lot of gigs and things, and you know, you find out who's there for the free ticket, put it that way. So I will be remembering who has been there for me throughout the last 5. In terms of my home, again, you know, it's kind of not been able to plan things. I started the first part of the year with the idea of having an extension on the house, which is something that I'd always dreamed of. So this, where I am now, is the conservatory. This was going to come down and extend the lower floor, the ground floor, should I say, which I could have afforded to do. But then with the cancer diagnosis and all I'm getting is really sick pay, I kind of think, well, God, it's come back 3 years. What, you know, this money that I have saved up has got to last me throughout situations like this. You know, and there's part of me think, I should have just done it before I got the cancer, and then I wouldn't have had to worry about it. But now I'm kind of like, well, you know, at least I haven't got the worry that I've got to, you know, I haven't got any money to pay bills and things like that because I can't work. So maybe I will just do the conservatory up, do the kitchen up rather than extend, which is a shame because first part of the year I paid for a architect to draw up plans, I paid for planning. So I'm just a bit gutted that it probably looks like that won't be happening. It'd probably be silly of me with it, you know. Do I need the extra space? I haven't got kids. It was just a dream. I would still like it, but again, I suppose I've got to just be a little bit practical as well. But there are other things I want to do around the house. I'm going to get the bathroom done. I need to get the bathroom done because it keeps leaking. So the floor's got to come up, and while that's coming up, I may as well just get it retiled anyway, which is what I wanted to do. It wasn't too bad, which is why I kept putting it off. You know, it's completely acceptable. It looks nice even, which is another reason I kept putting it off. But if the floor's got to come up, then good enough excuse to retile, isn't it? And get it how I want it. So that is something that I will do. In terms of sort of me time, I'm trying to get back into reading more as well. I always used to read before I went to bed, and it's something I've kind of gotten out of because quite often I'll take work to bed with me, I'll be sitting there in bed, video editing, and then I actually find it quite hard to sleep because my brain is still going. So yeah, I need to get a little bit more back into reading and learn to relax a little bit more as well. I spoke to my consultant about the fact that I was having trouble sleeping, and he is kind of saying, yeah, you do need to wind down before you go to bed. You know, try relaxation techniques, try meditation. So again, that is something that I'll look at. I'm really quite interested in like holistic you know, treatments, things like that. So I have tried apps on the phone for meditation. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. But again, you know, I'm going to keep at it to see if I can relax a little bit more, because I think everybody needs to relax, so that might help. In terms of relaxing and self-care, I'm not ashamed to say I went to counselling last year. It's not the first time I've been to counselling. I went to counselling when I had cancer the previous time or just after, because it not only messes with your body, it messes with your mind. You know, you're faced with your own mortality, and then you're just put back out into the world and expected to carry on like nothing's happened. And you can't, because life will never be the same again. You are dealing with this thing all the time, and there's a lot of different analogies of how to explain it. One of the best ones I saw or read recently was, once you've had cancer and you're sort of put back out there to try and carry on with a normal life, it's almost like somebody is following you around with a gun to your head, and you're just waiting to see if they're going to pull that trigger. Unfortunately, my trigger was pulled again. But yeah, it's always there, you know, hanging over you. So yeah, I had counselling again last year just because I was feeling a little bit down. I felt a little bit under the weather, and again, ironically, if you see my other videos, I went to my consultant. He told me to stop worrying because there was such a low chance of my cancer coming back, and he suggested psychotherapy, just talk about the feelings, which I did, and went to counselling again, and lo and behold, the cancer did come back. So I'm not in counselling at the minute. It is something I will consider doing again next year if I feel that I do need to talk to somebody just about how you carry on. You know, it is, as they say, good to talk. And that applies to any area of your life. You know, don't bottle it up, talk to somebody. There's nothing to be ashamed of. And again, just, you know, I do need to practice more self-love. I might come across on video as being quite confident. Really, I am not a person that likes himself, never mind loves himself. I have low opinion of myself, if anything. I constantly deal with the fact that I don't think I'm good enough, and I don't think I'm talented enough, I don't think I'm pretty enough. So again, I've got to try and concentrate on the things that I can do well. And I was nearly going to say I don't know what they are, but that's not what I'm intending to do, is it? So yeah, I need to concentrate more on self-love and gratitude, what I mentioned before. I might well film some videos about that. If you want me to do that, do comment it in the box below. Holiday, I've still not had, I mean, I had a couple of weekends away in this country, but I am desperate for a holiday, somewhere warm where I can just relax. Again, I can't really book anything like that until I know when the end of my treatment is and that everything has gone to plan and it's worked. But once that happens, I'm going to go away. Until that point, then I think I need to maybe look at some holidays in this country, even if it's weekends, just get away and, you know, do normal things, live. Learning, I want to continue learning. I've always loved learning new things, and I've always continued to learn. Even after leaving after leaving college and things, I've always done home study, just to improve my knowledge of things and improve my skills and what I do. So that's something that I'm going to continue to do next year as well. And I think in terms of goals, again, just to not be selfish. I'm not a selfish person at all. I, if anything, try and keep people happy. I think sometimes a little bit too much. So I need to, you know, think about myself a little bit more sometimes. Don't let people use me. Which I know is easier said than done, because sometimes you think, oh, you know, that attention is good, it must mean that they like me. And sometimes you can confuse attention with truth, and that's hard, but I'm not going to be fooled anymore, as hard as it may seem. And yeah, maybe it does make me come across as hard, but self-preservation is important as well. and being used, you know, does knock your confidence as well. I am a nice person, I will help anybody, and if you're genuine and, you know, I've got all the time in the world for you and I will never let you down. But I have had more than my share of people using me, so I'm going to try and filter that out as well. So 2020 then, what can I say? Come on, bring it on. All of us, everybody watching this, come on, let's make this our time. We can do this. Self-love, gratitude, believe in yourself. That's all we can do. But we got this. So thank you for watching. And pop your comments in the box below. I'd love to know what your goals are for next year, and if there are any videos that you would like me to record, again, pop your comment in the box below. Make sure you give this video the thumbs up and hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, and all the love in the world for this year.